beer.
Bird on a Wire is one of those movies that I taped on a VHS from a cable broadcast on TV, and every once in a while, I put it on as a fun popcorn movie. As a kid, I wasn't aware of the movie's score or criticism because it was just a fun movie to watch. So looking back on it, was the movie any good? And were the critics at the time were spot on? Let's find out. I'm Meffistoe. Like, share, and subscribe because this is my review of the movie Bird on a Wire.
You know, Rick's alive and he's shot in the butt. Hey guys, guess who's alive and shot in the butt? Yeah, Rick, I'm looking at his butt right now.
Bird on a Wire is an action comedy movie directed by John Badham and written by David Seltzer and Louis Venosta. Not a lot can be said on the production of Bird on a Wire. It was mostly shot in British Columbia, Canada, with Hans Zimmer composing the original score, and the title song of the same name was written by Leonard Cohen but sang by Aaron Neville, which to me, having listened to both versions of the song, I much prefer Neville's version. But what most people remember from this entire movie is the heavy criticism on the movie itself. I mean, critics were extremely vicious when it comes to this movie, calling it an overproduced, tedious mess of a movie.
Well, you are one rolling stone, aren't you? Where are you now, Rick?
Where's Lou? Why did he retire? He would have told me he was retiring. Why didn't he do that?
Bird on a Wire tells the tale of attorney Marion Graves, Muffy, who pulls into a gas station and believes that the attendee is her dead fiancé, Rick Jarman.
You remind me of someone a lot.
I do.
Yeah, a boy, a man, named Rick Jarman.
The attendee, Billy Ray, shrugs her off, but when she witnesses an attempt on his life, the truth is discovered that he really is, in fact, Rick.
How do I know it's you?
It's me, Muffy! Open the damn door!
The two set off on a wild road trip that takes them through the country to the many identities that Rick had over the years. Rick is running away from two corrupt DEA agents that one of them was put away by Rick's testimony, and now he is out of prison.
You all got kind of an interesting accent there. Oh, then you always were kind of an actor, weren't you, Rick?
You see, Rick has been living under assumed names all these years under the Witness Protection Program, and he's been changing identities all along every single time he is close to getting caught. But now, when he is reunited with his old fiancée, he is determined to find out who ratted on him and maybe put away the two men that are after him for good.
Yeah. This is funny to you.
In terms of the casting, we've got an all-star cast here. Bill Duke and David Carradine play the corrupt DEA agents. Bill Duke is great in any role you put him in, and as the antagonist, it works well with his menacing demeanor.
Lovely day. But we have a little cloud blowing.
Carradine's role as Sorensen was pretty much the archetype of what we saw later on in his career in the role of Kill Bill. Both work well off each other and both were believable as the no-nonsense villains. But I must say that most of their actions were pretty predictable.
Well, what do these Colombians want? It's foolproof. We got all the customs agents, we got the border guards, everything's in place.
Marion Muffy Graves was played by Goldie Hawn, a part that suited her like a glove, or it seemed to be. It really reminded me of her earlier work in Overboard, that sort of helpless damsel in distress that every time there's something out of the ordinary, mainly the action bits, she yells and screams and goes into these fits of hysteria. And for some reason, every time I think about this type of role, I think about Goldie Hawn, and I think about this character. Sort of a fish out of water, all frazzled up in hysterics, but when there's a moment of calm, she is purring like a kitten.
What are you doing? Move! This is a rented car! We could get in trouble if you
This
drive
moment
it!
in your life you're worried about hurts. Move!
Mel Gibson as Rick Jarman is the best thing about this movie. He took the role sandwiched between the two Lethal Weapon sequels, amongst other projects of that year, and made this movie all about him. As if the director and the script gave him a bunch of different masks to play and several different identities to act out in front of people.
Oh, that? Oh, no, it's just dirty. I had to tie it out. Gorgeous.
Who's this?
This is my sister.
And this is exactly why I like him so much in this role. Rick is more of a toned-down version of Riggs, less PTSD, less action, and much more comedic. But again, this is why I love him in this role, because when there's no action, he is fun and funny, and when there is action, he is right there with it. Plus, he's funny.
Weenie with you.
Get my face!
Come on, let's get out of here.
Bird on a Wire takes a lot of flack for its incoherent storytelling and obvious plot holes. Looking back at it after many years, I can see what the critics were on about. It seems like an old-fashioned road trip with a telegraphed ending, and there was too many situations where the help to the characters was a little bit too convenient. It seems like everywhere Muffy and Rick would go, they would find somebody to help them or a vehicle to whisk them away. And it seemed more like a late 70s, 80s movie that was done a little bit too late and didn't really fit with the times. But agreeing with the critics on the merits of the story and the shoddy script is one thing, and enjoying the movie for what it is another. I mention Overboard for a reason, because I believe that Kurt Russell would have been a great replacement for Mel Gibson, especially because Russell is great in this action comedy romance, and the Hawn-Russell connection is also very well known. But the fact of the matter is, Gibson is really good at it himself, and he is carrying the entire movie on his back.
Just go and wait in the car,
Don't
please. This
tell
could
me.
get ugly. What? Marianne, I gotta talk to you for a minute.
You were a hairdresser?
So is this a barn burner? No, it is not. I hate giving numbers on any of my reviews, but I say it's a C class of a movie. It's an enjoyable 1:45 action comedy that as soon as it ends, you're left with the song Bird on a Wire that is still stuck in my head several days, actually a week and a half after rewatching this film. So would I recommend it? Probably. I'd say that if you're a fan of Mel Gibson, you would love this movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, you should definitely check it out once, but don't expect too much. To me, it has a special place in my heart alongside another movie that wasn't considered great, which is Hudson Hawk. The only major difference between the two is that Bird on a Wire did gangbusters in the box office and Hudson Hawk flamed out.
That ought to be enough to cover the damages.
What damages?
Thank you for watching, and remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.